This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we have a Miele dishwasher that keeps draining. It floods the dishwasher and then sometimes floods even the kitchen floor. It's due to this fill valve we see in the upper left-hand corner, and it is just not closing when it should. After power's cut, that fill valve should turn off, but it's not. So we're going to replace it with this cheaper fill valve. It's only about $25. There's a link in the description below. And it's actually pretty easy to do. On this model, the fill valve is located underneath the sink, so it's really easy to get to. Another culprit, though, could be this one-way valve that lives inside the dishwasher underneath the filter. And if it is malfunctioning, it'll let water come in from the drain, and that can also flood the dishwasher and make it constantly go into a drain mode. So we did get a new one-way valve, and we're just going to put a new one in. You can also, when you're here and you have the old one taken out, you can spin the impeller with your finger, and it should be able to spin pretty easily. There might be a little bit of a magnetic feel, but it should mainly spin easily. So this one's spinning really good. We're going to go ahead and put in this brand new one-way valve, and that's going to make sure that water can't sneak back into the dishwasher from the drain line. So I just lock that in place. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to bend the drain line underneath the sink in a big high arc, because right now it's just coming right off of the sink drain directly down into the dishwasher. And when you fill the sink, sometimes that can flood the dishwasher because water flows backwards through the drain line. So I'm going to bend it up in a big arc so that can't happen. You can see in that picture it's going to be like up underneath the sink. I'll put a couple of screws alongside of it to hold it up there. So these are a couple preventative measures. And the other thing I'll do today is replace the faulty fill valve. So this is a pretty inexpensive one. Comes as a kit from Amazon. It has this little brass elbow comes with it. So we're going to take some Teflon tape and wrap it around the threads so we have a good watertight connection. So you want to wrap it around maybe 3 or 4 times, and then we're going to just put that elbow into the fill valve. And we'll go ahead and spin in the brass elbow with a pair of pliers, or you could use a crescent wrench. You want to get it in there maybe 3 or 4 revolutions so it's in nice and tight and you have a good watertight connection. So here's that new fill valve. We're going to go ahead and spin that in. All right, we've got that nice and tight. Maybe do a couple more turns. I'm going to make sure that every connection is really strong. Sometimes I'll hold the fill valve with a pair of vice grips to get it even a little bit tighter. It's funny, these retrofitted fill valves are pretty inexpensive. They're only about $25 as opposed to about $220, but they do tend to last longer, even though you'd think they wouldn't be as good of a quality. So there's the old one, here's the new one. We just have to do some connections. So we're going to lock on some vice grips to get a better grip, and then we'll get it even a little bit tighter. This whole procedure should take you about 20 to 30 minutes. On some Miele dishwashers, the fill valve is located actually underneath the dishwasher. It takes a little bit longer because you have to take out the unit. So we're taking the fill line off of the old fill valve with a wrench, and then we're just spinning it off. And then we can go ahead and do some more of the connection. So we're just spinning off that compression fitting. So I'm pulling the old fill valve out a little bit further from where it was underneath the sink, and I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver to pop open this case. That exposes the solenoids, and then I need to pull back this outer coating, and then I'm going to use a pair of vice grips to hold it back so I have some room to work. I'm just trying to get this area exposed so I can do a few cuts. So I'm going to use my diagonal pliers to make a cut right here where the power wire is going to the old solenoid, and then I'll pull that wire through, and I'm going to measure back about 3 inches from the fill valve to make a cut on the tube. I'm using my pliers to pull the clamp back. I want to get it out of the way so I have some good room, and then I'm going to use my diagonal pliers to make a cut through this tube at about 3 inches back from the fill valve. I'm just going to snip through and then go around so I have cut the tube, and then that's going to give me a way to connect the new fill valve. Here's the old one. Sometimes they get some stuff caught in this little filter here, and that can be something that would prevent the dishwasher from filling all the way or filling fast enough. But in our case, it was just draining all the time because the fill valve was leaking and letting water sneak into the dishwasher. So I'm just now splicing the wires on this power cable that used to go to the old solenoid. I'm going to split the two wires apart. There's a black wire and a white wire. Pull them apart, and then I'll use my wire strippers to strip back about 1/4 inch of the insulation. And I'm going to put on some spade connectors that are just crimped on, so they're really easy to do. So this is on the white wire, and the neutral wire I'm just stripping back 1/4 inch. I'm going to twist the copper wire, and then I'll slip on this spade connector, and I'll crimp it down with my wire strippers. They have a little crimping tool. I'll lock that in nice and tight, and then I'm going to do the same thing here with this black wire. That's bringing the power. So I'll strip back about 1/4 inch, and I'll twist it. Here comes the new spade connector. You can get these at Amazon.com. They're really cheap, or at the hardware store. And they're really easy to work with. You just put them on the terminal on the wire, and then you can take a pair of needle nose pliers or the crimping tool, and you squish down at the base there really tight, and that locks it onto the wire. It's pretty easy to do. So we're getting near the end here, not much more left to do. We have the hose connection ready, we have the power connection. We're going to push the old hose onto the new valve. We're going to just twist and push until it's fully seated, and then we'll go ahead and put the wire clamp on by using our pliers. We'll squeeze it on with our pliers and get that up over about 1/2 inch away from the fill valve. So that's going to hold on that hose. Then we can go ahead and put our spade connectors onto the terminals of the new fill valve. It is good at that point too to wrap those with some electrical tape just to give even better insulation. Now we're turning on the hose, or turning on the water pressure, making sure it's plugged in so we can give it a test. So when you open it up, you should have water, ideally just touching the very bottom of that white filter handle. And if you do, you have the exact right amount of water, and that is perfect. So this is exactly what we have on this dishwasher, so it worked exactly right. So thanks so much for watching.
Thanks so much for watching our video today. I hope that this video has saved you some time and money. And if so, could you please press down in the video description below the donation link and send us a donation so we can keep this service going. Thanks again. And if you have any questions about this repair, could you contact me at scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.